Hi everybody, this is Lemurium Side. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment below, make suggestions for future videos. I want to thank Octavio Nateras Ramos for suggesting this video. Welcome to this off-script session for the SciLife channel. The series is tailored for those aiming to adapt and thrive in this post-pandemic world. The off-script session series explores new perspectives that help you to break through emotional stress, moral guilt, self-criticism, self-doubt, and self-denial. You might find some of this material apathetic, irreverent, or triggering. My aim is not to offend, but to enlighten. But sometimes enlightenment and offense are positively correlated. My goal with this series is to align with higher processes and deeper awareness of self and life by shaking the foundations of the basic social trends. So, if you can blast through these limitations without losing your social standing, sanity, and soul, then this is the right place for you. Today is the feast of, oh my God, it is the feast of Saint Lucifer today. Happy Feast of Saint Lucifer. This is May 20th. Is this May 20th? Or is this May 27th? It's May 27th. I'm sorry, I got too excited. But last Wednesday was the feast of Saint Lucifer, and I was really excited because I was like, well, I'm going to celebrate this. But anyway, I'll post this video and say Happy Feast of Saint Lucifer, belated. But I want to thank Octavio Ramos, and really quickly I'm going to read his comments, his request for this video. All right. His question was, I'd love to see more videos on Luciferian contextualized as a form of post-Christianity. Your two videos on Luciferianism in the Bible were great, and they inspired me to take the book more seriously. Maybe analyzing each book in the Bible from a Luciferian point of view. So thank you so much, Octavio Ramos. I love it. I appreciate it. And this is one of the topics that's really near and dear to my heart. I'm very passionate about Luciferian philosophy as it pertains to the Bible. I think it's a very powerful way to look at the Bible and a very powerful way to use the Bible. The Bible is a compilation of generations and cultures and people over millennia. And right now, unfortunately, it's incarcerated by Christianity. And its incarceration by Christianity has been only slightly lifted by the satanic philosophies and by obviously Luciferian philosophy. And so what I want to do is I want to help people to understand that and actually present evidence-based stuff. Luciferianism goes back to the 4th century with a man by the name of Lucifer of Cagliari, who was the Italian bishop. He was the bishop of Sardinia. This is a really great article. It's from the Catholic Encyclopedia about Lucifer of Cagliari, and they go into a little more detail about his rebellious and boasting nature in defense of the doctrine that he was using. So just pause the video and make sure you check this out. And he had some beef with the Arians, who were a different sect of Christians, because he followed Athanasius's belief that there was a trinity to the Godhead. So there was Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. And so Lucifer Cagliari believed that and promoted that as the bishop of Sardinia, or the bishop of, I think he was also called the bishop of Italy. So one of the things that all Christians, the vast majority of mainstream Christians today believe in is the Trinity. They believe in the Trinity. It's a Trinitarian doctrine. That is a Luciferian doctrine by definition. And an Athanasian, but really Luciferian, because he was the one that promoted it. And by the way, many scholars who study this in depth believe that the one reference to Lucifer in the Bible, in Isaiah 14:12, is a implied kind of a political jab at Lucifer of Cagliari by other people who were interpreting the ancient texts during the 1600s. We know that the English version of the Bible was compiled in 1611 under the request of King James. There are lots of mystical. John Dee is said to have been involved with it. There's a lot of mysticism around it. The Rosicrucians, the Quakers, and others were involved in the writing of the Bible. So there were a lot of ideas that were incorporated in the Bible and lenses, point of views that were put on the Bible that have changed how the Bible has presented itself over the millennia. So with that said, a post-Christian view of the Bible, a Luciferian perspective of the Bible, is damn near essential to the next steps in our evolution as humans, in our growth and as we progress as a species. It will be essential to kind of preserving the book and understanding its actual validity in the modern everyday world. So another thing to understand about the Bible is that it is not a Christian book. Like I said earlier, it is a book that has been imprisoned by Christian lens. If Luciferians and logical, rational people that are secular in their spirituality, and even Satanists, can get back into the Bible and start reading it from a different point of view and understand there's an allegorical context to the Bible, we can then start saying, these are wisdom traditions that were passed down from generations from very advanced philosophical traditions and lineages. Then we can actually have a valid use for the Bible in the future. Maintaining the mainstream Christian view of the Bible leads to a lot of the hate atheism and a lot of the, I'm separated from everything, I'm a worthless piece of shit atheism, right? I'm just a part of this evolutionary cycle, and that form of atheism. Obviously that's not all of atheism, it's one form of atheism, but if we can take the Bible back and make it a human book like it is, then the Bible can have a more positive and powerful impact on human experience. Real quickly before I go, the Bible, like I said, it's not a Christian book, but it is a book that is the result of Cometian, Egyptian, I separate the two, Greek, Roman, Persian, Babylonian, Sumerian, Phoenician influences, as we understand in the English language. And so with this history, the Bible is the quintessential book of human knowledge. And human knowledge over the eons, from pagan to non-pagan, has not always been explicitly stated. It's not always just openly put out there, this is what the Bible is saying. Often it is wrapped in allegory and symbolism and metaphor and myth. The idea that you are the divine being, you are the totality, the transcendent totality, is central to the biblical story. If you look at the middle of the New Testament and the middle of the Old Testament, you find this interesting phrase that is very Luciferian. It is that you are God. Now in Psalms 82 verse 6, that's almost the middle of the Old Testament, and John 10:34, it was almost the middle of the New Testament, it says you are God's. Why would it be that this phrase is almost smack dab in the middle of the two testaments of the Old Bible? Would it be that this Luciferian thought, the idea of apotheosis, the idea that you are God of your own experience, you are God of your own reality, would it be that that idea is just like not important, it doesn't matter? Why would Romans 14:12 almost verbatim be reflected in the book of the law or in the satanic precepts? Read Romans 14 verse 14, where it says that I am convinced by the testimony of Christ that basically there is no unclean thing. There is no unclean thing. And then in the 22nd verse of that same chapter, it's a very interesting chapter. There's far more weird stuff in that chapter, Romans 14. But in the 22nd verse, it says basically that happy is the individual who doesn't condemn themselves or doesn't condemn what they allow. So that means that letting go of self-criticism, letting go of self-doubt, understanding that when you make mistakes, it is okay to look at those mistakes without guilt, without shame, okay? Look at them objectively, and that is very hard to do in a world that is overrun, inundated, overwhelmed by moralistic, right-hand path, white light spirituality supremacy. It is time that we start looking at the Bible with clearer visions, and the Luciferian philosophy helps you to do that. Satanism is a wonderful way to begin building that balance, and I want to encourage you to explore the two. Come on, we live in the modern age. Satanism is atheism. If you read the Satanic Bible, they're very clear that they don't believe in a real Satan, right? But they are taking symbols, they're taking concepts. Anton LaVey was a brilliant mind. He's taking concepts away from the overemphasis on good and saying, hey, there is another part of life. There's another perspective to life. And it's okay to explore that, to play with that. Use psychodrama. Destroy your enemies. If someone slaps you on your cheek, smash him on his, right? Now, if you are spiritually mature, you understand the symbolism there. You understand the deeper meaning and the allegory there. You understand that you're not going to go out there and destroy somebody or create violence, do harmful things, right? Understanding that the Bible is a series of symbols and metaphors and allegories and stories that are not to be taken literally, and that there is a deeper meaning, helps you to understand that you are much more dynamic and multifaceted than you appear on the surface. So I want to encourage you, if you're a Luciferian, if you're a Satanist, if you're a Christian, if you're an atheist, get back into the Bible, or at least start considering some of the deeper implications of that tradition and of the stories that are found there. It talks about so many different things. It talks about Satan, Malach le Satan, who goes before Yahweh and Jehovah and Elohim in some parts of the Old Testament to make sure that humans are doing their part. Satan is actually more like a policeman in the Old Testament if you really read it. So this video is getting a little bit longer than I expected, but it's a really powerful topic, a really interesting topic, and I want to encourage you to explore it. So if you found this interesting, you found that empowering and encouraging, most Satanists, most Luciferians, most left-hand people like myself, grew up in a Christian background, or grew up in a religious background, whether it was Abrahamic. And so I want to encourage you to look back at your spiritual religious texts and look at them from a different perspective. Maybe get a copy of the Satanic Bible or the Satanic Notebook, or some of the Wisdom of Eosphros, which is Michael Ford, I think, put it out. Maybe I'll put links in the description for that. But anyway, look into it. Give yourself an opportunity to take a different perspective, because we are born with a right eye and a left eye, a right hand and a left hand. So why is it that our spirituality is only right-handed, only a right side? The human body is designed with both left and right and left, right? And the two are not mutually exclusive, they work together. And so why would our spirituality be so limited to only include the right hand? Why is God only good all the time? There's nothing in the Bible that even suggests that. I don't think any of the ancient pagan or even the Christian-based or Abraham-based religions even support that idea. If you enjoyed it, like I said, like it, subscribe it, share it with people that you know that are interested in this subject matter, and check out my video, check out my channel. And I post videos like this regularly. I'm trying to do it on a weekly basis. I am doing it on a weekly basis. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the other side.